So, first chapter is the significance of ancient Indian history. The study of ancient Indian history is important for several reasons. It tells us how, when, and where people developed the earliest cultures in India, how they began undertaking agriculture and stock raising, which made life secure and settled. It shows how the ancient Indians discovered and utilized natural resources and how they created the means for their livelihood. We get an idea of how the ancient inhabitants made arrangements for food shelter, and transport, and learn how they took to farming, spinning, weaving, metalworking, and the like, how they cleared forests, founded villages, cities, and eventually large kingdoms. People are not considered civilized unless they know how to write. The different forms of writing prevalent in India today are all derived from the ancient scripts. This is also true of the languages that we speak today. The languages we use have roots in ancient times and have developed through the ages. Unity in diversity. Ancient Indian history is interesting because many races and tribes intermingled in early India. The pre Aryans, the Indo Aryans, the Greeks, the Scythians, the Hunas, the Turks, and other made India their home. Each ethnic group contributed its might to the evolution of the Indian social system art and architecture, languages and literature, all these peoples and their cultural traits commingled so inextricably that currently they can be clearly identified in their original form. A remarkable feature of ancient Indian culture has been the commingling of cultural elements from the north and south, and from the east and west. The Aryan elements are equated with the Vedic and Puranic culture of the north, and the pre Aryan with the Dravidian and Tamil culture of the south. However, many Munda, Dravidian, and other non Sanskritic terms occur in the Vedic text ascribed to 1500 to 500 BC. They indicate ideas, institutions, products, and settlements associated with peninsular and non Vedic India. Similarly, many Pali and Sanskrit terms signifying ideas and institutions developed in the Gangetic plains appear in the earliest Tamil text called the Shangam literature, which is roughly used for the period 300 BC AD 600. The eastern region, inhabited by the pre Aryans tribals, made its own contribution. The people of this area spoke the Munda or Kolarian languages, several terms that signify the use of cotton, navigation, digging, stick, etc. in the Indo Aryan languages have been traced to the Munda's language by linguists. Although there are many Munda pockets in the Chota Nagpur Plateau, the remnants of Munda culture in Indo-Aryan culture are fairly strong. Many Dravidian terms too are to be found in the Indo-Aryan languages. It is held that changes in the phonetic and vocabulary of the Vedic language can be explained as much on the basis of the Dravidian influence as that of the Munda. India has since ancient time been a land of several religions. Ancient India saw the birth of Brahmanism or Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism, but all these cultures and religions intermingled and interacted. Thus, though Indian speaks different languages, practices different religions, and observe different social customs, they follow certain common style of life. Our country shows a deep underlying unity despite great diversity. The ancient strove for unity, the Indian subcontinent was geographically well defined and its geographical unity was supplemented by cultural integration. Though there existed many states, languages, cultures, and communities, gradually people developed territorial identity. The states or territorial units called Janpadas were named after different tribes. However, the country as a whole came to be named Aryavarta after the dominant cultural community called the Aryans. Aryavarth denoted northern and central India and extended from the eastern to the western sea coast. The other name by which India was better known was Bharatvarsha or the land of Bharatas, Bharat, in the sense of tribe of or family figure in the Rig Veda and Mahabharata. But the name Bharatvarsha occurs in the Mahabharata and post Gupta Sanskrit text. This name was applied to one of the nine divisions of the earth. And in the past Gupta period, it denoted India. The term Bharati or an inhabitant of India occur in post Gupta text.